Plan B was practically an unknown group until now. One of the members, Han, has been hit with shocking accusations that have turned everything upside down. From xenophobia and mistreatment to harassment, both physical and verbal, the details are jaw-dropping. Here's the full story behind the scandal that's shaking the group. Plan B, a 5-member group, debuted on August 17, 2023 with their single album 1%. The group quickly gained attention due to its diverse lineup. Hui and Han are Korean, Hao is Chinese, Toei, who went by Roy, is Thai, and James is Thai Chinese. The album's teaser promised a multinational group that focused on individuality and strong member chemistry, stating they would be more pole than Plan A and be sharp secret weapons. Despite the name, which people mostly connected with the Morning After pill, fans were intrigued by their teasers, pre-debut tracks, and the members' visuals, sparking excitement for their debut. However, things took a sudden turn. Just 5 months after their debut, James left the group on January 18, 2024. The announcement from their company, H-Land Entertainment, was brief, wishing James well but offering no explanation. Fans didn't think much of it at first, assuming it was just a normal change for the group. But soon after, it was revealed that Hui and Han had become part of a pre-debut group, Switch, linked to the survival show Project 7. This led many to believe the group was essentially finished, especially since they were under a small company and their debut hadn't made a huge impact, so fans thought it was just a matter of time before the members went their separate ways. But the reality was far more complex, and the issues within Plan B turned out to be much darker than anyone had imagined. It all kicked off on April 26th when Toei, one of the members, took to Instagram to accuse fellow member Han of physically attacking him. In his post, Toei clarified that his absence from the group's Halloween 2023 performance wasn't due to choice, but because he had been hurt by Han. He explained that all the other members were witnesses to the incident and that Hui, the group's leader, was unable to intervene. Toei, however, expressed his frustration, saying that Hui didn't address Han's role in the incident. Toei shared that he chose not to escalate things at the time, hoping to avoid any disruptions to the performance or harm to the company's image. He also didn't make any demands despite what had happened. He confirmed that there were witnesses, his fellow members, and that the manager had taken him to the hospital. At the hospital, a doctor advised him to stop any physical activity due to the risk of a bone fracture. Toei attached X-ray images as evidence of the visit, further supporting his claims. Toei provided more details about the incident, giving context to what had led up to it. He explained that Han, being a quick learner, was responsible for memorizing the dance moves for the group, while Toei's task was to help with speech and event scripts. On the day of the incident, the group was rehearsing for an upcoming event. Han and Hui were able to recite their lines without issue, but Han's pronunciation wasn't quite right. Toei then asked Han to repeat the words so he could help correct the pronunciation. However, Han reportedly refused to cooperate and even mocked Toei's Thai accent, showing a lack of respect. In response, Toei chose to ignore the situation and decided to step outside the practice room to get some fresh air, hoping to diffuse the tension. He went on, "Just as I was about to reach the door, Han suddenly ran from the corner of the room and tackled me to the ground." Toei described the shock that spread among the members, noting that what happened didn't even start as an argument. In fact, some of the members initially laughed, thinking it was just a joke, so no one saw things escalating the way they did. But instead of apologizing, Han reportedly stood over Toei, pointing at him and shouting, even though Toei couldn't get up. Han then allegedly insulted him, accusing him of acting and faking the situation. At that point, the other members realized how serious things were. They quickly helped Toei to his feet and contacted the manager, who arranged for him to be taken to the hospital. Toei provided more context about their practice sessions, revealing that the focus on speeches that day was due to the complexity of their events. Since 3 of the members were from different countries, each event involved scripts that were 20 to 30 pages long. He explained that he and James not only had to memorize their own lines, but also everyone else's, so they could step in and cover for anyone who forgot their lines during a performance. In addition, Toei shared that he had to change his stage name to Roy because the Korean members found his original name, Toei, difficult to pronounce. He also accused Hui and Han of running off to debut in another group and leaving the others behind. He wrote, "Do you really think what you're doing is right? Where is your humanity? Just leaving others behind and moving forward on your own? You are making the image of Koreans look even worse." Due to the serious nature of the accusations, both DNA Entertainment, the agency for Switch, and Han released official statements. The company explained that the language barrier caused by the members' different nationalities had led to communication issues, which, according to them, was the cause of the incident. They then addressed addressed the incident directly, stating that the members were practicing choreography without staff or an interpreter present. According to the company, this lack of communication led to a misunderstanding, and Han accidentally caused Toei to fall during practice. They claimed that Han immediately apologized, and the two came to an understanding. Regarding the group's future, the company clarified that after the T-Wave summer concert in March of the previous year, it became clear that continuing their activities wasn't possible. They explained that the members, waiting for the company's decision, chose not to sign a continuation plan and return to their home countries in May. Han, however, kept training, wanting to remain an idol, which led to his participation in JTBC's Project 7 and his continued pursuit of a dance career. The company urged the public to avoid speculating on matters they believed to be untrue. After the company's statement, Han also posted a handwritten letter, beginning with an apology to fans who were shocked and hurt by the accusations. He took responsibility for his actions, admitting that his carelessness caused harm and expressing regret to Toei and anyone disappointed by the incident. He concluded by promising to be more thoughtful and cautious in the future, stating that he would reflect on his actions and act more carefully so he could become a better person in the future. Toei wasn't done addressing the situation even after the explanations and apologies. He fired back, pointing out that after almost 20 years of dancing, he's used to risky moves and knows his body well enough that a fall wouldn't hurt him. He also spoke against the excuse that he had just been bumped into, asking Han if he had been walking with his eyes closed and telling him to stop making up excuses. Toei also made it clear that while he and Han were friendly because they had to work together in the group, he felt betrayed when both Han and Hui allegedly backstabbed him. After leaving for Korea, they never contacted him again, which is why Toei was so angry that they acted as if nothing had happened. As for Han's apology, Toei wasn't convinced. He felt it was insincere, believing Han only apologized because the higher-ups told him to, making the apology seem more like a formality than a genuine act of remorse. He also tweeted, "I can't read this. Go write in Thai. The company spent money for you to study it for years." The accusations gained further weight from claims by former staff members and even former member James, the one who had departed the group in 2024. According to an alleged staff member, the two members, Han and Hui, left abruptly, cut ties with the group, blocked the official accounts, and posted about how they were now free. The staff expressed confusion as the members never even tried to discuss things with them. They also revealed that the members had been well taken care of, with perks like flexible hours, car services, free meals, and a salary. The staff claimed the members barely had to spend any money, as the company president frequently treated them to nice meals, even causing one staff member to gain weight. Another staff member mentioned that the contracts of these two members remained unresolved, but communication was impossible because they had blocked and unfollowed everyone. The staff also pointed out that the group had recorded songs and planned music video shoots only for the members to delete their bios and completely rebrand themselves. Echoing the earlier statements, the staff emphasized that the members had been well supported, with a house featuring a pool, transportation, and meals all provided. This left the staff puzzled as to why the members chose to leave without addressing the situation or communicating with anyone. James backed up Toei's account, explaining that he hadn't spoken out earlier because Toei was still part of the group and he didn't want to cause harm to him. But now that Toei had shared his side, James felt it was time to reveal more of what had happened. He mentioned that Han often teased Toei, so when Han started mocking him, at first the members thought it was just playful joking. However, after Toei fell, Han showed no concern and continued to insult him, even acting as though he might attack Toei again. James stepped in at that point, protecting Toei and informing the staff. The staff then took Toei to the hospital after the incident. Toei continued to speak out, sharing more about Han's alleged actions during their time together in the group, including claims of harassment towards former member James. He stated that harassment, especially in a group setting, should never be tolerated. Toei accused Han of repeatedly harassing James, despite James clearly expressing his discomfort. Toei provided a screenshot from a video showing two men, presumably Han and James, with one man shirtless and lying on top of the other, who appeared uncomfortable. Toei made it clear that the video was too explicit to fully share. He also revealed that, because of the harassment, James opted to drive home every night instead of staying in the dorm with the rest of the members. James confirmed Toei's account, saying he had given permission for him to speak on his behalf. He admitted that the ongoing harassment was the main reason he left the group. James explained he had been too embarrassed to speak out earlier, but he had never been okay with such behavior, even if it was meant as a joke. He added, "I was never okay with it. I had warned multiple times that I didn't like it. I have always felt uncomfortable with many of their behaviors, and that is one of the reasons why I no longer want to work with them." He explained that whenever he felt the urge to stand up for himself or speak out, the situation would always be diffused by others stepping in, making promises promises that things would change. However, despite those promises, the behavior would never actually stop. Toei also accused Hui of being problematic during their time in Plan B. He claimed that Hui often reacted violently when reprimanded, including punching and kicking walls after being scolded by instructors. Toei described him as reckless, often putting others at risk with his dangerous behavior. He also said that Hui had once damaged the company car but avoided consequences by speaking to the CEO in Korean. In another incident, Toei claimed Hui and another member played with fire indoors, making him feel unsafe, as it could have easily caused a fire. Additionally, both Hui and Han were also accused of manipulating women into believing they were in relationships, with Toei suggesting that they used gaslighting tactics to achieve this. Han and the company have remained silent on the additional accusations, and it seems unlikely that any explanation could improve the situation. Their claim that Han accidentally bumped into Toei hard enough to cause a hospital visit has been widely criticized as ridiculously implausible. On the other hand, the evidence Toei presented appears to be solid, and unless the company can offer equally convincing proof, it seems there's no way out of this. Many are now hoping that both Toei and James receive the justice they deserve.